I'm going to give you an overall of the last two games. I think we played two really good opponents that are going to do very well in their league, top 3, top 4 in their league, and fight for a championship. And I think that's what we needed. We needed those experiences to be able to grow. You know, if you're winning by 30 or 40 points, I don't know how much you're really gaining from that. So we had two difficult opponents, two contrasted styles of play. One wanted to shoot a ton of threes, and one was going to be tough, physical, and a little bit older. And then, you know, in North Florida, was a bunch of juniors as well. So played two older teams, and we're able to compete and grow and get better. So that's first and foremost. Last night, we really handled adversity well. We had some foul trouble, and shots weren't falling, and we still were able to defend and rebound to hold them to 32, and then I think 29 in the second half. And we've been struggling with second halves. So it's nice to see us come out, get some stops, get some timely rebounds, and hold them down. So we handled that with Josh in foul trouble. You know, you're always wondering how we're gonna handle that, and the guys did a really good job. So these two games have been great. Now we go on the road again, and against a very, very difficult DePaul team who's also a veteran-like team.
What's the give and take with young guys? Because it seems like what they've been really good at is going out and being themselves. And their athleticism, what they're able to do. Maybe in the high school level, they can get away with certain things that they're not going to be able to get away with at the Big Ten level. How do you adjust a guy who's playing his best basketball, just doing what he does, but at the same time kind of, you know, shaving off the edges to get him finite down to what you want him to do?
Yeah, you know, I think Raul is playing terrific on the offensive side, and he's getting better defensively. I've seen some growth since Temple. You know, he's in the right spots. He's playing a little bit tougher in ball screen defense. He's starting to find bodies, which is probably what he needs to work on, those rotations, being in gaps, finding bodies. Miles Dredd, you saw a little bit of a freshman, right? Shot very well against West Virginia, shot pretty well or very well against North Florida, and then doesn't shoot so well. But defensively, he's as sound as they come. He's solid, and he knows the rotations. He's in the right spots. So I think offensively, as long as we keep giving them the confidence to be who they are, but value their role on this team, I think we're okay. I really think it's on the defensive end and the rebounding. The rebounding is a little bit of a concern right now because we've given up double digits rebounding in the last two games, and if I take it back to Temple and West Virginia, last 4 games. But again, give and take. We got to just keep having them grow and learn and get better.
What do you get out of Dredd playing well on the defensive end? Because it's always been, you know, we've seen guys that haven't made shots, and you've always said don't let that dictate the effort on the other end of the floor. For freshmen to not shoot well and still play well defensively, is there something to glean from that in terms of him?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. I mean, we promote that. We applaud that. We cheer that. The fact that he didn't let that bother him. Some kids are going to put their head down, especially a freshman. Somebody are going to have bad body language and maybe not get the next block out or maybe not get the next rotation. And I didn't really see that. The only thing I saw him do after a missed shot was just go like this, maybe one time. And that's a credit to him and how mature he is.
You're not back here until the end of the month?
Is that right?
Well,
yeah,
November
Virginia Tech, yeah, you're right, end of the month. Crazy.
What kind of challenge?
Who put this schedule together? Moron.
Oh,
that would be me.
Yes. So, are there any challenges? What type of preparations need to be done for getting a team that's going to be out on the road for 3 games?
I think, you know, first of all, I think our guys like playing on the road. You know, you're away from it all. It's just you and your team, your players and your assistants, and you get to spend more time together, get more film together. Kind of like us against the world mentality when you're on the road. So I think DePaul, West Virginia was a great, Temple, West Virginia, you know, started the process of playing on the road. I know it's going to be it's a difficult environment to play at DePaul and how well they're playing right now. So that's only going to help us as we approach the Big Ten, as we go on the road December 1st at Maryland. Because that's the goal. You put together a difficult non-conference to prepare you for Big Ten play. So I think it's going to be great. And then Cancun, not that we're going to get a ton of beach time where we're going to put on 75. That's not going to happen for me, Nate. But it should be good, again, to get them away, to bond even more. These road trips are a time to really come together. and shared experiences, and then compete together. So I think the next couple of weeks we'll really find out. When we come back here right before Virginia Tech, I think we're going to know a lot about ourselves.
And then maybe just even some lessons learned for the older guys who probably understand a little bit better than the younger guys the impact of every non-conference game at the end of the season and when it comes time to make decisions for them.
And you're right. And everybody on the outside is going, oh, you can't have a bad loss, can't have this, can't have that. Well, I saw teams last year that got into the NCAA tournament with a sub-500 record in the league and some other bad losses. But somehow, some way, they made it in with an 18-win season. So I'm going to tell them, one day at a time, 1% better. Don't get caught up in wins and losses. Control what we can control, right? Our attitude points, how many stops we get, and how well we can, be great teammates. And really, that's the value that I'm sharing with our guys.
Pat, it seems through the first 2 games of the season, you're going 8 and 9 deep. Is it hard to make sure that the guys who are staying on the bench are continuing to buy in and practice and things like that? Yeah,
it's something that I stress as often as I can. I share with them video, I share with them statistics, I share with them John Harrow from last year, barely played all year, and the next thing you know, became this incredible starter and played 20, 25 minutes a game. I share with them some of the stuff in the NBA. Tatum say, I don't mind coming off the bench. Trev Rozier, I don't mind coming off the bench. So just some of the things that I share with them, I'm sharing with you. About just staying dialed in. When your name is called, you better be ready. Don't get ready. John stayed ready. He didn't have to get ready. He was ready. So these guys understand that. And MJ's minutes can fluctuate. Trent's obviously played 20 and then 14. Minutes are fluctuating. Trent's minutes should have probably been higher, and that's my fault. I got to do a better job of getting Lamar out and giving Trent those 2 to 3 minutes. But you got to keep them up. You got to pause. You got to meet with them. But our leaders have to do a good job. Right now, everybody's very much bought into the culture.
If you could expand on that, Lamar's minutes early, is that something you're going to watch and try to keep an eye on?
I'll keep an eye on it, but I see some light at the end of the tunnel. I see a couple days here coming up where we can get him some rest after DePaul headed into Cancun. So, today's a rest recovery day for those guys, maybe free throw shooting and some film. The guys who didn't play over 20 minutes will get a good workout, and we'll try to get those guys to develop good habits. But we'll be really smart with the high-minute guys, specifically Lamar.
And going off of that, do you have a relationship with Lamar at this point, 3 years into his career, that you can go up to him and say, hey, how are you feeling at this point in the game? We need to take you out, things like that?
Absolutely. Well, I can see it. I think we can all see it, when he's fatigued a little bit. He missed a free throw. He was really shooting good free throws, maybe short on a shot. So we can see it, and there was times where I wanted to take him out, and I should have taken him out. Just something made me keep him in, and I got to do a better job with that. He's kind of like that guy you feel very good when he's on the floor.
Pat, is Lamar kind of the same guy this year, or is there a difference now that he is kind of the alpha dog on this team?
He's becoming the alpha dog. The way he's rebounding, it was almost his 3rd double-double in a row if you can count West Virginia. So he's getting to that level where he's demanding of himself. I think his defense is a heck of a lot better. And he's demanding more of his teammates. And you see these little huddles that they get in. He's the one doing a lot of the talking, specifically with Josh out in the first half. He had to. But there have been times where Josh joins in as well. So he's got to be that guy for us.
How difficult do you think that is for him? Because whenever we have him, he's not exactly the most out there guy. He kind of seems a little quiet and subdued, but when he's in the huddle, you say he's the leader there.
Yeah, Lamar's got a very good personality. You can put him in front of this mic. You can put him at a charity event. He can speak. He's really gifted. He's a very blessed young man. But he has it in him. Trust me, he's got that internal fortitude of, let's go. We got to get this done.
Is there a set plan, maybe the point guard position? Because I was there last night. Jamali got the start, but Lazier played more minutes. Is that kind of just kind of how the game went, or is there a plan going forward of maybe Lazier gets the start here, or maybe Lazier comes to the bench but plays more minutes?
Yeah, well, we're going to see how it all unfolds here as the days go on. I love Jamari's toughness, his competitiveness, and his defensive fire, and that's what we're built on right now. And I do like the fact that Rozier gets to see a couple minutes from the bench to get a feel for the game and kind of gauge it a little bit. And I think we're in a good rotation pattern right now as well. So I'm not going to mess with anything today, tomorrow, or for DePaul. But, I'm going on what I see out there and what's best for the team.
And there were points in last night's game where all three freshmen were on the court at the same time, and I think there was a point where even Trent was out there too, so basically like 4 freshmen out there at the same time. Is that like something like you're trying to give them confidence in that and that you're putting them in that situation altogether, or is it just kind of how like the game
Sometimes foul trouble dictates who's in the game, and fatigue. I would go with the 2 Fs, foul trouble and fatigue. I put together lineups that we want to try to get to, or we want to try to play throughout the first half specifically, and then we kind of adjust in the second half. But foul trouble really sets the tone.